From the Newstalk ZB newsroom, this is Newsfix.
In this update, New Zealand's Defence Force is set to evacuate hundreds of Kiwis stranded in New Caledonia. Foreign Minister Winston Peters has confirmed aircraft are ready and now awaiting approval from French authorities as to when it's safe to proceed. Protests in Noumea have been escalating since Monday, leaving 6 dead, many injured and hundreds arrested. There are more than 3,000 tourists stuck, including Kiwis, as commercial flights remain cancelled due to the unrest. Winston Peters says the safety of New Zealanders has been an urgent priority. The Prime Minister is recounting the government's achievements in its first 175 days at a National Party regional conference in New Plymouth. Chris Luxon started his speech by shouting out his MPs and Deputy Leader Nicola Willis. He says the upcoming budget will see increased spending on frontline public services, and they've had to change the status quo of the previous government.
We were elected to turn the country around, and that's why we make no apologies.
Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico remains in serious condition and still faces risks of complications, but has stabilised. The Prime Minister, 59, was shot 5 times at point-blank range last week in an attack that sent shockwaves throughout Europe. The Interior Minister says the suspected shooter, who has been charged with attempted murder, acted alone. Catching a disease early could save many men from dying. The Prostate Cancer Foundation wants the government to announce $6.5 million in budget funding so it can run 2 pilots for centralised screening. It says European countries are already trialling the screening. Prostate Cancer Foundation CEO Peter Dickens says we are behind the times in New Zealand.
New Zealand really has to get with it and pilot prostate cancer screening if we're going to save men's lives and also save the health system from unnecessary impacts.
That's news. In sport, Alexander Usyk is the first undisputed heavyweight world champion in 25 years. The undefeated Ukrainian has claimed a split decision victory over Tyson Fury in the historic title fight in Saudi Arabia. It's Fury's first loss in 36 professional fights. Usyk was on the brink of victory in round 9, landing a series of big punches that had Fury stumbling against the ropes and backpedaling before he received a standing 8 count and was saved by the bell. He becomes the first fighter to hold the 4 major belts in boxing's blue ribbon division since Lennox Lewis in 1999. Warriors fullback Chance Nicole Klukstad is prepared for an unfamiliar role in this afternoon's NRL Magic Round game against the Panthers in Brisbane. He's been named as 5'8", partnering to Mairi Martin in the halves. Kiwi driver Scott McLaughlin's qualified second fastest for tomorrow's Fast 12 phase of qualifying at the Indianapolis Grand Prix. That's sport. I'm Sandy Hodge.
For more news, listen to Newstalk ZB live on iHeartRadio.